So we're getting into our fresh series, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of a Neon Violet Square, we have the German Protoss player, the Green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Zerg player, the Orange Zerg, representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer. Here we go. And again, Elazer, he is known for greed, known for cutting corners, known for droning and doing nothing but droning. But it's been a while since we've actually seen Elazer be too competitive. For those that are curious, Elazer in the off-season did take some time off. Elazer, he was focusing a lot on Stormgate, playing a lot less StarCraft 2. I want to say that Elazer's return, he took like a couple of months off. His return to competitive form was Home Story Cup 26 at the start of December. So that was like the return of Elazer. We got to see him once again. And since Home Story Cup, he has been more active once again. He has been more competitive, playing in more online tournaments. It's been great to see the return of Elazer, and we'll see how he compares to Jumy. Let's go. Let's go. As now Elazer just going for his initial extractor trick to hatch a gas pool. Is going to be settling in. And again, typically here on a Neon Violet Square, it's a game agreed. It's a game agreed. It's a game of rushing into a third base, rushing into a fourth base, joining up heavily, cutting lings, cutting roaches. I feel like this is the ideal map for Elazer with his playstyle, with the corners that he likes to cut. Likewise, on the side of Jumy, now I'm a little bit more concerned. Typically, Jumy thrives in the mid-game. He thrives with more aggressive builds and aggressive styles, with faster charge into a depths, into maybe double Stargate play, into a Phoenix, into Mass Phoenix, or like a Fleet Beacon rush as well. Speaking of, that is viable here. We could see something like double Stargate into a fast Fleet Beacon. That is possible here for Jumy. We'll keep an eye on it. As Jumy is setting up. Just going for the gate expand. I like Jumy's name. I mean, it's his name, right? Like, I think his full name is like Julian, and his last name starts with M. So I think it's like an amalgamation of his name. Hold on. Yeah. His name is Julian Mills. That's it, Julian Mills. So Jumy for short. Let's go. Look, it could be worse. It could be Eric, which is just his name. But here we go. This is what we expect. Elazer, he's going for a hatch gas pool into a fast third base, into the gold base as well. Cutting all the corners, rushing into the gold. This is the Elazer that we know and love. And we'll see if Jumy can punish the gold base. Oh boy. We'll see if he can. Two lings, they slip into the main. And they do get, one probe. They get one worker in the main base, not bad. One worker for two lings. Meanwhile, Jumy, as we mentioned, it's a game agreed. He goes gate expanded to Cybercore into a third Nexus before the tech, before the Stargate. This is the greediest build you can go for. So Jumy is being greedy, that is true. But Elazer, he's kind of trumping that greed. He's beating it there with the gold base instead. So despite this start from Jumy, I do favor Elazer's position if he can get this base up and running uncontested. Oh, as Lings they step in, there's no wall. There's no wall here. It was wide open. Lings they do get into the middle line. Probe's going to be going down, and this is getting out of hand already. Jumy doing his best hero impression, leaves the door open. Lings they get into the natural, into the third. Going for the surround, they catch the Stalker. The Stalker is going to go down. And Jumy is in trouble. Lings, can they get another probe? Oh. Head for the main, one more probe goes down. That's 4 probe kills. Lings rotating back over. Getting another probe as well. That's 5. 5 probes going down. Behind this, no tech, no Roach Horn, no Banelands, going straight for the lair. Now, based on this, and going for another expansion. Jesus. Going for the 4th base. I mean, he's got the money for it. He has the minerals for it. May as well. Meanwhile, Jumy, he responds with double Stargate. I would imagine Mass Phoenix. And I'm not opposed to Mass Phoenix here. The problem is, though, that Jumy, he was slowed down quite a bit. He was disrupted when it comes to his build. There we go. Now he does wall off with the pylon. as it was a bit of an awkward setup. Oh, hello. That is not Mass Phoenix. That is double Stargate into a Fleet Beacon. It's a +1 air attack. I mean, we spoke earlier, a build that is viable and that we see a lot on this map is either a Tempest Rush or a Carrier Rush. You have my attention. So on the one hand, yes, Elazer is being greedy. Elazer, he has the gold base and he's going to have a greater economy. That is true. But Jumy will have the better army momentarily. We'll see if we can get there. There is no shield battery behind this. Wings, they collapse in. At the same time, we do have Adepts across the map. Getting 3 drone kills so far. Not bad. 3 workers go down. Getting able to 4, getting 5, getting 6, getting 7. No reaction out of Elazer. And again, as we mentioned at the start of the series, almost jokingly, but there's a serious undertone to it. Elazer, he likes losing drones. Like, no reaction. 12 drone kills, 13 workers go down. And again, it's not an Elazer game unless he loses 20 workers. So he's actually doing well. Only 13 dead workers. Should have been 20. Should we? The thing is, look at the drone count. Elazer, he has 70 workers. He has 70 workers plus the gold base. So again, it's one of those things where Elazer, he can afford these losses. Meanwhile, carriers are on the way. Making 3 carriers at a time. And again, Elazer losing 13. You know, he's looking good. Compared to a standard Elazer game. It's crazy. It's crazy. As Hydras are amassing. Have a Hydra speed on the way. Now, what's important here, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, Elazer, he has not scattered. He is not scattered. He does not know what's going on. Now, as we mentioned at the start of the game, Elazer should be aware of that as well. We spoke about the initial, like, Skytoss rush. I was saying Tempest rush. This is Carrier rush instead. But that should be in the back of Elazer's mind. If it's in the back of our mind, it's in the back of Elazer's mind as well. And he is amassing Hydra, so he has anti-air at least. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing, essentially. Better than, like, Lingroach Ravager, for example. So he is amassing Hydras as we speak. If Jumy moves out early on, he will be punished, and here comes the Overseer. Here comes the full scout. Elazer, he confirms the mass carrier. Does confirm. 3 carriers moving out. Jumy has to be very careful with his move out, as he doesn't want to get caught out by these Hydras. Hydras, they are spotted. Jumy, he is well aware ahead of time. He pulls away. Thankfully. Jumy, he's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be active right now. Not with all these Hydras. He backs off. He's setting up a wall of cannons, wall of shield batteries. This is also why this map is often vetoed, because you can freely get a 3 base economy and turtle up and rush into Skytoss. Which is why I was a little bit shocked to see that Elazer did embrace this map. But here we go. The Jumy does engage. Cybercore barely saved. Elazer kiting with the interceptors. Takes down the Cybercore. Denies +2. But was it worth it? He denied +2 for 13 Hydras. Hey, 13 drones, 13 Hydras. We'd love to see it, but 13 Hydras to go down. Jumy does hold, and Jumy, he has to rebuild that Cybercore, get back into +2. Tempest now on the way. Jumy getting a 4th. And again, Jumy, he can slowly get a 4th base, get a 5th base. Jumy is slowly gaining map control. Elazer backing off. Now, thankfully, Elazer throws down the Spire. He does throw down the Spire into Infestation, into Hive Tech. Now, this Hive Tech is late. It is delayed considering the journey that we've had. So I'm a little bit concerned for Elazer, as Jumy moves out and he's going for bottom left. Oh, the carrier. As one carrier is going to get caught out. A bit of an A move there from Jumy. Can he get away? He can. The terrain here does work in his favor, does get over the wall, and the Hydras do miss the carrier. Meanwhile, base is going down. Carrier, can he get away? Oh my god. The carrier should barely not. There we go. The carrier goes down. But Elazer will lose an entire base and 12 workers. And Jumy's not done. But the corruptor count is too high. You have to recall. Yeah, it does recall the hell out of here. And it will save his army. Does recall back home. Now, against a corruptor-based composition like this, you do want some support for your Skytoss. What is that support going to entail? Archons. Archons and Storm. We have some Void Rays on the way to make use of the production, which is less than ideal, but it's, again, better than nothing. Void Rays are building up. Storm is on the way, but Storm isn't ready yet, so we need some kind of stopgap before Storm is done. That's where the Void Rays come into play. Nice cloak. Cloak is activated, no detection. Yeah, no Overseer here for Elazer. He gets denied. 3 Overseers now morphing in. Jumy holds. Jumy does hold. Throwing down a wall of cannons. Nice contamination here on the Void Ray. Void Rays are delayed. I'm a little bit concerned with the Lackeye Templar, but Jumy, he's kind of broke. Doesn't really have a lot of money. Is still building up. Likewise, Elazer rebuilding his expansions. Getting a sick. Double Spire, double upgrades. Hive is on the way, +2 as well. As Elazer's massing up those Corruptors. Here we go. Elazer pushing in. Going for the main. And he should be able to shut down the base. And Nexus is going to fall. Jumy out of position. And Elazer after killing the base has to get the hell out of here. Does want to fight these Void Rays. Will back up. Elazer pulls away. Nicely done. And again, it's on Jumy to split up his army. To successfully split up his army. Keep up with the Corruptors. Keep up with the ground army as well. With the Hydras. As Elazer is looking for any kind of stray units. Looking for any stray carriers, any stray Tempests. Rotating back around, back towards the main. I see an exposed Cybercore. We'll see what he goes for. Stacking up his army. Behind this, the Hive is done. Viper production has begun. Cyber shot goes off. Gets a carrier. One carrier goes down. Elazer pulling away. Now morphing in his Hydras into Lurkers. Again, Hydras at this point are dead weight. Like Hydras, they do very poorly against this kind of army. But Lurkers, they do a great job at supporting the air army here of Elazer. So the time of Hydras have come and gone. It's all going to be about a Corruptor, Viper, Infestor, Lurker. So we're still building up those upgrades. Vipers have arrived. This is also why Void Rays are less than ideal in this position. Void Rays, they are so prone to stacking. So a couple of Parabombs and Void Rays, they get shut down. Ooh, go for the yoinks. Gets 3. The Void Rays do fall. Oh. Looking for another abduction. Ooh, feedback goes off. Nicely done here by Jumy. Does preserve the army. At the same time, Lurkers pushing on the left-hand side. Jumy getting pulled apart a little bit here. Lurkers that get behind the mineral line. Corruptors are hunting for any stray pickup. Getting another carrier. Another carrier goes down. Respects the slow zone. Pulls away. And basically this is what Elazer needs to do here in this position, is these hidden run tactics. Dip in and get one unit here and there, back off. Regenerate energy here on these Vipers. Go back in, get 1 or 2 units. Just slowly pick away at the army as efficiently as possible while building up upgrades and building up a bank. As Elazer supply blocks. Ooh, that should... Elazer! Elazer pulling in Elazer. 6 Overlords on the way. Ay, ay, ay. As Elazer, he cannot max out. Nice abductions. He gets 1, he gets 2. Gets 2 carriers and a Tempest. Oh, we'll trade out a Viper though. Oh, never mind. Vipers did barely survive. Just barely. Viper pulls away. Laser threatening another dive. Once again splitting up his army. The Lurkers, they get spotted. Nice moves here by Jumy. Lurkers, they distract. Corruptors, they come in. But Elazer doesn't find an opening. Catches an Oracle. Now, the difficult thing for Jumy, he's on a 5-base economy, which is very secure. The 6th base is exposed, whether it's this gold base here or this southern expansion towards the south, towards the left-hand side. The 6th base is more vulnerable. So expanding from here for Jumy is going to be difficult. Nice feedbacks. Feedbacks, they pop up. Lurkers, they get behind the mineral line onto the high ground. Jumy's distracted. Probes are going down. Jumy trying to chase. Does Jumy commit? Okay. He's committing. Lurker's out of position. He's going for it. Clearing up creep. Tempest, they defend back at home. I mean, the Skyjust army. Back at home, what is it to defend? We need more Lurkers. Lurkers are morphing in. Has the first wave of Lurkers, they get caught out. It's a nice catch here by Jumy. Did cost him 16 probes, but did collapse and did take down all the Lurkers. As we're about to have 11. Zealorama here behind the army. Into the mineral line. Going for the Spires. Spires are exposed. Jumy pushing in. Elazer not quite ready for this. The spores are still morphing in. Spore Pro is going to be going down. Nice inductions. He gets one. He gets 2 carriers. But the base falls in an instant. 18 drone kills. And so does the Spire. +3 was denied. This expansion going to be going down as well. Elazer fighting without his spores. Not going to be easy. Oh, gets another carrier. Okay, Cloak a little bit too late. Oh, he wants the feedbacks. Oh my god. Gets a Viper. Does feedback, takes down a Viper. 34 drone kills. And Elazer, he hasn't been expanding. Elazer, he didn't take these northern bases. Look at the bank here. Elazer, he has 2k in the bank, but has not been taking bases. Ay. Yeah, Elazer either tunnel visioning a little bit too much or just maybe overconfident. But Elazer, he should have this entire half of the map. Now he's expanding, but these bases are late. And as a result, Elazer has limited larva. Limited economy. Jumy going for the gold. Remember, we spoke about it. The 6th base of Jumy is difficult to take. And Jumy turns back around. Elazer going for a link counterattack. Elazer, he just burned through that bank. As we mentioned, like Elazer, he without a bank and without an economy like this, like Elazer, he's in trouble. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Elazer re-establishing his mineral bank. He's got how many? 39 corruptors. Jesus, that's a that's a lot of corruptors. How many lurkers does he have? 10. Ooh, I'm a little bit concerned when it comes to the army composition of Elazer, considering how heavy we have, just how heavy the Archon army is. Like, these corruptors, they can't engage. And because of the Archon count, the lurker is going to be exposed as well. 3 lurkers, they go down. At the same time, Elazer going for the gold, once again knocking down the 6th expansion. Double expanding himself. That's a kill, not a cancel. Nexus goes down. 11 probes as well. Oh, gets a carrier. Carrier does fall. Elazer desperately making more lurkers, as he does need them. And I do think that he has too many corruptors, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be opposed to this if maybe he had a greater spire to morph in some broodlords, but there is no greater spire. So broodlords are not available here. What I mean by that, after this fight, if there's nothing left in the air, then the corruptors, they're dead supply. Assuming he even wins the battle in the air. True. Power bomb goes off. Nice split by Jumy. Does split off. Leaving my mind in the way. Is Jumy forced to recall? He has to make a choice. Jumy, he's forced to recall. Army dives in. Oh, does not get the mothership. This is the difficult thing in these kind of late game situations. Jumy, because he's maxed out, he cannot reactively warp in to defend. Like, he warped in 2 Zelts because that's all he could warp in. So he had to recall. As once again, Elazer going for the 6th base. Once again, just making sure that Jumy does not expand. That's the win condition for Elazer. Just starve Jumy out. Denying the 6th base for what, like a 4th time at this point. Just double checking, yeah, only 1 Spire and no Greater Spire. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Lurkers, they go for a counterattack, they go for the 5th base. Jumy, he's being forced all in. Remember, he just recalled earlier. Recalls on cooldown. He has to commit, he cannot turn around. 2 Void Rays get caught, Mothership as well. Nice pickups by Elazer. How many Vipers? 1 Viper. Oh, going for the Powerbomb. Powerbomb does land. Jumy, he has to split. Up, up. Oh, good. There we go. Does split away. Void Rays, they took a lot of damage. We spoke about it earlier, but the Powerbombs, they just punish Void Rays so hard. But what I'm most concerned by is, again, if all these Void Rays die, if all the Tempest die, what is the answer to the Archons? What is the answer to the ground toss? The Lurkers, they're trying to get in position. They're going to be zoned away by the Storms. The Archons, they're pushing in. And bases are falling. Likewise, back across the map. Jumy also losing expansions. Is the recall now available? Soon. Soon TM. The tech is getting picked up. The Hydra Den, the Spire, the Lurker Den as well. Lurkers are trying to engage. Getting closer. But again, Elazer, he has been outpositioned. Lurkers are not ready. And Jumy, he busts into the main, going for the Hive. Hive goes down. Jumy saves the expansion with DT defense back at home. And Elazer is down to not even a mining base. There's nothing mining. There's nothing at the 4th. He has the Pocket expansion. That's all he really has, at least when it comes to income. Down to 13 drones. Oh, Jumy cannot push down this ramp. Be careful, Jumy. He's crazy. Don't push down the ramp. Letting run by, getting a couple of probes. But again, Jumy should be able to recall, as he will soon have one available. Yeah. Now we can recall. Oh. Powerbomb going up. Jumy, I feel like we gotta get out of here. He just tanks the Powerbomb to the face. The Void Rays are low. Mass Storms on the army. And Jumy shuts down the Lurkers. He will take the fight. 2-3 Lurkers left. We spoke about this, like the ground army was lacking. So he did, at this point didn't have to recall, to be honest, but GG gets called as Elazer has nothing left, and Jumy takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Jumy does take a lead in the series. Whew. Oh my god. And again, Elazer, it did seem like maybe some overconfidence or maybe some tunnel visioning out of Elazer. We spoke about it at the time, but for a long time there, Elazer, he had map control, but even though he had like a 3k mineral bank, he wasn't expanding. And he should have been expanding. So whenever Jumy moved out to knock down a base, he would have another base to just transfer over to. We saw that the northern bases were either non-existent or heavily delayed for Elazer. Again, he was just a little bit too fixated on harassing, on trying to pick off some key units with the Corruptors. As a result, he got caught out. Likewise, his army was also lacking. He never quite invested into a Greater Spire. He had 39 Corruptors. 39 Corruptors. In the end, he didn't even win the fight in the air, but even if he did, we saw how devastating the ground army was. The Lurkers, they melted in that final fight with 3 Lurkers remaining. And again, Jumy didn't even have to recall. Could have just committed to that engagement as well. Just shut everything down. With that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Jumy takes a lead, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Don't know why Elazer didn't expand or add site defense. Elazer's site defense was delayed and expansions were delayed as well. As we were alluding to, as we were saying, I'm pretty sure it was just because of some overconfidence. If you recall, for most of the game, Elazer did have map control and he was containing Jumy. So he most likely just assumed he could keep that contain going and keep Jumy pinned. Clearly that did not occur, as Jumy did eventually break out, and once he did, he snowballed out of control. But yeah, alas, Elazer, he was not quite ready for that situation, for that scenario. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy, leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Zerg player, the Orange Zerg, representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Elazer. Here we go. So we're going to be settling in. Oh, we have a clown in the chat. Drew balls. Ah, if you're gonna cry about things, go cry somewhere else. The game is dead. Cohopian. Cohopian. As Jumy goes for the gate expand. Gate expand here at a Jumy. Settling in. Likewise, Elazer going for his own hatch gas pool as well. Now, when it comes to the map itself, something that we should point out, the way that Neo-Violet Square played out is very unique to Neo-Violet Square. It is a very large map, very open, very defensive as well. We did mention how you can set up on 5 bases very easily on Neo-Violet Square, and because the long resistance by ground, then you can kind of be greedy and cut corners. You can be as greedy as possible and cut as many corners as you can. Here on Ultralove, it is a different story. Smaller map, shorter rushes by ground. It means that aggression is more viable here on Ultralove. At the same time, though, it's also very defendable. Coming into Ultralove, the 3rd base, the 4th base, the 5th base as well, there's a lot of choke points, there's a lot of points of elevation, there's a lot of just really narrow areas like these bridges as well. You can slow the game down. We have seen, if you can get up to like a 4-base economy, you can cut the map in half and just force a very late game situation. We've seen that quite a bit on Ultralove. We could see that again. We'll see though. As we mentioned before, like all-ins are not uncommon on this map because of the rushes. So I did emphasize that if you can get a 4th base up and running, then you can cut the map in half. If not, the game could end far earlier than that. We'll see. The problem is that I don't really think that Elazer is really an aggressive player. Like Elazer, he's known for greed, he's known for his economy, he's known for macro, he's not really known for all-ins. So I don't really know if Elazer's one to go for like a German taxi or, you know, a Queen walk across the map, a Bane bus if you will. He's not really that kind of player. Not saying he's never done that, but it's just not really his style. But now, Twilight Council opener into a Stargate? Hold up. Hold up. Something weird's happening. Wait. Twilight Council into Stargate into Robo cancels a Stargate. What is into Dark? Okay. Jumy, he's doing flips right now. He's cooking. Let him cook. Okay, Elazer didn't scout. He did not scout the Twilight Council. He saw the Stargate and then bam, cancels the Stargate. Let's go. Okay, so Jumy making it look like a standard opener. He's making it seem like standard play. Checking the vision here. Elazer, did he see? He did not see the tech. He barely is out of range. Doesn't quite see anything here in the natural. Ay. And this looks like a 2-base all-in. I say that. This is going to be a DT opener into an Archon drop. I'm curious if Jumy commits even harder with this or just expands. We'll see. We shall see. As the Prism is on the way, the Dark Shrine as well for those Dark Templar. Back at home, Elazer going for a safety Roach Warren. That is around a 4-minute, sub 4-minute Roach Warren here for Elazer. And Elazer is massing Lings. He's aware that something is wrong. Spots the would-be 3rd. Elazer coming in for a denial. No spores. No spores for Elazer. Bear that in mind. Uh-oh. Yo, Shadow Stride on the way. Let's go. Going into Blink DTs. Lings, they deny the 3rd base. Still no spores. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's no spores whatsoever. DTs are on the way. There we go. Now he throws down spores reactively. Thankfully, he did spot the warp in. But damage can be done. We have backup spores on the way as well. And we see Elazer trying to body block. He's trying to hold on. He will save the spore. Yeah, just in time. Does body block, does hold position. And the spore will finish. That was very close. Oh no! Oh my god. Oh, the prism goes down! The prism goes down! The DTs as well! Oh my god. Is that game? GG. As Jumy, he warps in another wave, true. More DTs on the way, but that is a rough start. Jumy got too excited. I mean, shout out to Elazer for saving the Spore when he did. Big shout out to Elazer, despite not knowing what was going on. And Jumy, again, he got overly excited here. Elazer shut down the wall. DTs are moving out. And everything's on fire. The boys have arrived. Okay, they have to get the hell out of here. Get out of here, Pappy. DTs to defend. More Dark Templar on the way. And the Lings are busting through. At the same time, DTs, they hit the third. Drones are going down. Chaos everywhere. The wall is being broken. Probes are falling, but the DTs, they will clean this up. Hey, not bad. The Dark Templar defense. Despite that, though, 12 probes. Oof, 12 workers, 13 workers going down. Kills the expansion. Okay. Hey, we're still in this. The expansion goes down. Elazer is stuck on 2 bases. DTs, they bust into the main. No shot do they get into the Spore. Oh, they somewhat do. It's gonna be close. Spore goes down. Spore goes down. DTs, they keep going. They keep getting value. No detection. They blink away. Remember, they have blink, of course. They recall the hell out of here. Oh no. We're getting scrappy. We're getting down and dirty here. Who's ahead? Okay, so first things first. Jumy's down in probes. Jumy, he's down in workers. That is true. He has a massive amount of DTs. He has blink, of course, and as well. Thankfully, there is mobile detection in the Overseer. It is slow, but detection nonetheless. Speed is on the way. I appreciate that. If it was only Spores, these DTs, they can dive on an army. They can dive on a Spore. And they are looking to dive on the expansion. Oh, but now just going for a run by. They are going to be deflected. DT zoned away. Jumy still building up, fortifying himself on 2 bases. It's one of those things where, true, Elazer, he's up in drones, but he's not mining efficiently, right? He's long distance mining, so the drone count may as well be even. But Elazer, he is reestablishing that third. Oh. Now, with high ground vision, technically these DTs, they can blink into the main. He's going for it. He's going for the blink. Does set up. Distracting the army. DTs, they get spotted. And Elazer not quite in position. Blinks away. Doesn't blink in. There was potential. But with the speed Overseer, Dark Templar, they get caught out. Still slipping by. DTs, they hit the natural. Spore goes down. Elazer out of position. Yeah, he gets caught out. It's being torn apart. Queen falling as well. And DTs, they escape. And they come back in, dog. It's like whack-a-mole. Oh no. But the mole is killing you. He comes back in, gets 9 more drones. Pulls away. Blinks away even. Let's go. Behind this, sorry, Jumy, he has yet to expand. He's building up, getting to charge, getting to immortal production as well. Yeah, as Elazer's trying to keep up. Blink is still available. Going back into the mineral line, getting more drone kills, at least trying to. There's a recall. Oh! Does recall in time. Drop a load into the main. Just 1 Ling. Let's go. The 1 Ling drop. Ling goes down. Ah, no. Jumy getting caught out. Remember, recall's on cooldown. And Blink isn't done. Jumy can try to snipe the Overseer. Trading with the Lings. There's going to be expensive loss here for Jumy. As he tries to get away. Oh, no. Doesn't quite pull it off. 1 Stalker escapes. +1 air attack? What? Why are we getting +1 air attack? What's happening? +1 air attack is on the way. Let's go. Oh, no. And here comes Jumy. That +1 is going to come in clutch. Like it's not like he's faking out Sky Toss, because Elazer sees the army. Like, there we go. There's a cancel. Does cancel +1. Files a... Ooh. Raises Zealot. No big connections. Jumy moving out. Bearing in mind that the supply does light. Elazer, he has inflated supply, but that's a lot of roaches going for a counterattack. Going for a surround. Yeah, trying to collapse on the army. Coming in from behind. Now, Jumy, he can fight each army at a time, 100%. He can collapse on this, but both at once, that's a different story. As Elazer, he comes in from behind. Gets on top of the Immortals. Do we have any force fields? Does turn around. Roaches are getting focused down. Nice movement here by Jumy. Does pull away, avoids a surround. Ooh. But Biles aren't connecting. Does Jumy have enough? He might barely have enough here. Immortals taking a lot of hits. Nice control. Again, the Immortals, they trade so efficiently against these Roaches. The Roaches, they melt. And Jumy, he's overwhelming. The boys are being pulled. Elazer is in trouble. Once again, Roaches, they're coming from behind. Ooh. Getting on top of the Immortals. There's 4 Immortals left. The kiting is solid. Up. The Biles, they don't quite connect. Nice save. The juggling is real. Jumy, can he do it? It's close. Oh no, the surround. Yeah, one Immortal does not go down. But there's no support. Yeah, there's no more support. Elazer holds. He holds on. He shuts down the army. He cleans everything up just barely. And Jumy was all in. Jumy, he was completely... That's all he had. That's all he had left. Down to 2 Immortals. Back at home, there's 2 units. 2 Stalkers warping in. Contamination here on the Robo. Let's go. The DTs continue. Oh no. Not again. Dark Templar. I mean, hey, Jumy, he denies the 4th base. Denies mining at the 3rd. He is getting damaged, that is true, but he doesn't have an army. That's the problem here. There is no army for Jumy. He's down to a handful of units. And Protoss units, they're good, but they're not that good. They might be more efficient. There's more potential for damage with them, but there's only so much they can do on their own. As Elazer is re-expanding, he's able to maintain a greater economy. Jumy, he's running out of resources. Oversaturated. And Elazer, he even spreads creep to deny the bases. To make sure Jumy does not expand. That's a lot of DTs though, jeez. Oh no. Jumy, you're an animal. Is there a chance? Well, I mean, Elazer, he split up his army and he has detection, right? He has an overseer. If he didn't, if he was distracted by these Immortals, then maybe. Here we go. Here comes Jumy. He's ready for the dive. Alas, runs into the Roaches, blinks away. Elazer, he was ready for it. And again, if Elazer wasn't in position, then maybe he loses the base, maybe he loses the mineral line. But this entire time, Jumy, he's been building back up. No shot. No, okay, here come the Archons. Mate, that's 5 Archons. 5 Archons, 4 Immortals. Sorry, 3 Immortals. No, yeah, 4. Oh no! Oh my god, the Immortals are exposed. Risky maneuver. Jumy, he can still pull this off. The supplies are close. Yeah, the army supplies are close. Does dive forward. Force fields the army. He looks it down. Yeah, Roaches are falling. Roaches are falling. The Mutas, they try to engage, but again, there's 5 Archons. Down to 3. Bold move to go into Mutas. Roaches, they are going down. Ravagers, they try to engage. Is there enough anti-air? The Mutas, they shut down the prison. No more war prison. There's 3 meters left. And it looks like Elazer, he holds on. He pulls the boys. He's holding. Just barely. That was actually close, though. Does hold on. Loses a couple of workers. And there we go. He will clean this up. The final Immortal's going to go down. And GG gets called. Elazer, he ties up the series 1-1. How's not an easy game, though. GG. He does tie things up. We have a back and forth. Let's go. GG, well played. That was a crazy game, by the way. Remember, it started with a fake Stargate. It was Twilight Council into Stargate, into a cancel, into Mass DT, where, if you remember, even at the start of the game, Jumy, he lost the War Prism. He lost the War Prism with, what was it, 3 or 4 Dark Templar in the War Prism as well. It was a disastrous start out of Jumy. And then he clawed his way back in. He made a game out of it as well. Very impressive there, as Jumy did fight back. In the end, Elazer was able to stabilize somewhat and able to hold his own, but very chaotic game. Very chaotic. GG, well played. We have a series. Let's go. One Ling, this game is hilarious. I mean, mate, the Ling was popping off. Oh no. Jumy with the troll and A style. Mate, Jumy with the EU style, pappy. He's like harnessing his inner God. His inner Blythe, that's it. For some reason, I thought Blythe, I was thinking Biel. I was like, no, the other one. Let's go. It's one of those things where in Europe, there's a lot of like really stock standard players, but because there's so many of them, it means that all the cheese and all the chaos gets concentrated like into a couple of key players. It's like it like spikes up within them. One of them's Jumy, the other's like Strange, the other's like Milky Cow. Like there's a couple of like key European players that like suck up all the cheese, and it's like concentrated within them. It's crazy. Let's go. We love it. Do love it. As we're getting into game 3. They don't leave it for anyone else. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Jumy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Zerg player, the orange Zerg representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1. It was a crazy game. Did bring it back. It is Elazer. Here we go. Whew. Okay, we can breathe. We can calm down. Hi. As Elazer, he is going to be expanding, just going hatch gas pool, standard opening out of Elazer. Again, it's been pretty standard play out of Elazer every single game so far. It's been mainly Jumy being crazy, which is what we expected out of this series. Like Jumy, he is more unorthodox. He's a little bit more out of the norm when it comes to his play. We'll see what he goes for. In game 1, he went for a carrier rush, if you recall. Game 2 went for the kind of the tech switch into mass DT with Blink, with Shadow Stride. Meanwhile, Cannon Rush. He's going for he's Cannon Rush. Let's go, Forge. He's going for the Forge. He's going for the Cannon Rush. But Elazer, he sees he has an Overlord in position, and he does get eyes on the probe. Elazer, he's prepared, and Jumy is going to be forced to go. Yeah, he's going to be forced to cancel. Ay. Yeah, rough start here for Jumy. A delayed Cybercore into delayed expansion. So Jumy trying to be cheeky, and if the Overlord didn't see the probe, then maybe, but alas, Elazer, he was all over this. And Jumy forced a transition. So again, this is a rough start for Jumy. It is an inefficient start, I should say. Not saying that he's out of this, but it does mean that this is working against him, and he has to make up for that. He does have to make up for it. As Elazer is just settling in, joining up, and calming down. What's the next shot? DT is equals drone. Carrier equals drone. Well, the problem is that it also kills him. Like, but that's Elazer for you. Again, like, as we mentioned in the previous game, and I do want to emphasize that as well, Elazer, he isn't really too much of an aggressive player. He's not like Shin, right? He's like Shin. He's not like Dark. He's not like Raynor, you know, where they are willing to go all in. They're willing to, if they see you being greedy, if they see you cutting corners, they're willing to cut workers themselves, throw down early tech, and commit into aggression, right? It's like, and try to dictate the pace of the game. Elazer isn't really like that. He does it from time to time, don't get me wrong. Like, he does, you know, it's not like he never cheeses or he never all-ins, but it's more, more unusual for that. More rare, that's it. More rare for Elazer. As Lings, they dip in, we have a wave of Lings on the way behind this, as he does slip into the main. Say Juve in the main base. So far, good damage. Probe's going to be going down. And again, this is because the Cybercore is late, which means the Adept is late, and probes are falling already. 3 workers falling. A nice start for Elazer. At the same time, though, across the map, Adepts, they do shade in. The drone's going to be going down. 3 for 3. Does he recall back home? Does he shade away? Nice kiting. Up. Oh my god, 1 Adept goes down. 2nd Adept as well. Suddenly not as worth it here for Jumy. Elazer gains map control. Behind this, Elazer, he's droning up. We'll test the wall. I mean, the wall is wide open. Oh, the wall does not wall up in time. Not like this. The wall is not a wall. Lings, they fall into the mineral line. Probes are going down. And this is very similar to the previous game. Or was it game one? It was game one, yeah. Similar to game one, where Elazer slipped in, got some damage, getting even more probe kills, and behind this, freely droning, freely saturating his bases. And again, this is all because of the disrupted start to the game. So shout out to Elazer. Again, he did notice how vulnerable Jumy was because of the late tech, because of the late wall, the late adepts, like everything was kind of messed up at the start of the game. He was vulnerable, and Elazer got 7 probes. So very nice damage. Behind this, fleet... Yo, remember earlier how I said like, oh, this is kind of looking like the game on Neon Violet Square? I stand by that. Fleet beacons on the way. We're rushing into either Tempest or Carrier. Let's go. I mean, it makes sense. Jumy's behind. Straight up. Jumy, he is behind. So how do you bounce back? Well, you can either be very greedy or hyper aggressive. And this is a way of being greedy by taking up, at least taking up, rushing into tech, rushing into Sky Toss. We'll see if Jumy can get away with it. As in this position as a Protoss, you have to do something different. You have to do something crazy. And Jumy, he's all about the crazy. Now, Elazer, he invested into all these lings, and these lings are designed to deny a third. Unfortunately, there is no third, right? There is no third base. So this was a big investment. Adepts, they get across the map. 2 drone kills so far, not bad. Oh. Elazer, he does catch 1 adept, gets another. Barely not. Getting another drone. 4 drones to 2 adepts. Better trade here for Jumy, at least compared to the previous adepts. Mothership's on the way. Ah, so it is just a mothership rush, not Sky Toss. So this is all just for the mothership. I mean, I say that, I guess Void Ray's on the way as well. It's a little bit of everything. like a kitchen sink setup here from Jumy. Mothership, Void Ray, sentries, extra gateways. It's all kind of coming. A gateway explosion, 2 base all in. Instead of these 3 gateways, we could have seen an expansion. So again, it's just full setup here on 2 bases. Now, we have been hearing, or at least we have been hearing murmurings here of like these mothership rushes that have been plaguing the EU ladder. This isn't quite that, but you know, we're kind of like Frankensteining this together. And we'll see how this all plays out. I'll be honest, I'm not too convinced by what we're seeing here. It's very chaotic, but you know what? I'm here for it. Let's go. Now, Elazer, he does finish up his safety Roach Warren. He gets his 4th base. He has Mass Link to gain map control. Again, these links that were designed to deny an expansion. There is no base, but they can be used to defend regardless against a ground-based army. Speaking of, do we get the force fields? Ooh. Does force field in time. 1 Stalker gets not locked out. Very nice force fields. I mean, it's quite costly, but he does save his army. Does save his forces, but again, he's trapped here at his natural. Void Rays are building up. Spire's on the way. And where exactly is the mothership? Ooh, no, it gets scouted. I was gonna say that the mothership is gonna be skirting around for a big recall into the main, but the mothership has been seen, and now Elazer knows. Elazer should be getting ready in the main. Should be preparing, as he did spot the mothership. It should be, and at least he has his Ling Ravager. Carrier's on the way. You can see Jumy, he's getting ready. Now, the goal here should be to recoil into the main and to force field the ramp, but you can see Elazer, he's ready for it. Again, he saw the mothership, so he knows to prepare in the main. Now, the way to make this work here is that Jumy needs a distraction. Does need a distraction here. Elazer being pulled out. So far, so good. Army's being active, rotating over towards the 3rd. The army gets spotted. And Jumy, he's going to have an opening. He's going to have an opportunity. Elazer, he's aware. He pulls back. He doesn't want to get caught out. And this is the power of a recall like this. Where is Jumy going? Does he just commit to a push towards a 4th? Oh no! God. Jumy distracted. Void Rays go down. Massive pickup. And here comes the mothership. Here comes the recall. Nice force fields. They do shut down the Lings. Lings are falling. There's the recall into the main. But a lot of sentries go down. Yeah, there's no force fields left. This recall not as effective. Going for the slow zone. Okay, going for the slow zone. That's something. Army breaking through. There's still just such a large ground army, though, for Elazer. Does activate Cloak. Gonna be forced back. He does have another recall, but there's no way out of this. There we go. Does recall. Saves a handful of Stalkers. At the same time, Zelce go for the expansion. The slow lots. Can they bring it down? No, they won't. GG gets called. Jumy taps out an Elazer. He survives. Elazer. He will take game number 3 in a 2-1 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, just a really rough start there for Jumy. As a reminder, it all started with a cannon rush. I mean, it started with a failed and denied cannon rush, so it was just a really rough start for Jumy. Meant that his Cybercore was delayed, or he had to throw down Cybercore into his own Nexus, into just a really awkward start. Elazer, he punished Jumy with the Link Flood. It wasn't too committed. It was like 12 Lings. It was like 12 Lings, but they popped off. They wreaked havoc, and they just forced Jumy into an all-in. A very unique all-in is what I will say, but it was a big moment. What I think I would stand by saying maybe the biggest moment for Elazer was scouting the mothership. When he saw the mothership, then he knew. Then he knew to be ready back at home. He knew not to be active on the map, and he was prepared. With that, GG, well played. We are getting into game number 4. Okay, let's go. All right, what do we get this time? We had a carrier rush. We had, you know, fake out DTs. We had a mothership rush. What haven't we seen so far? We haven't seen like a 2-base like charge all in. We haven't seen like a 2-base immortal slow lot all in, but we're loading into Abyssal Reef, one of the larger maps in the map pool, not really conducive to all ins. We'll see. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the German Protoss player. We have the green Protoss down in the series, one more loss, and he is out of the qualifier for Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the orange Zerg player. We have the orange Zerg representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1 from Lena, Poland. It is Elazer. But amass one more game here to take it all, to advance on, and to qualify for the OSC Season 12 Championship. For now, just going for the hatch first. For now, settling in. And our eyes, they have to be on Jumy. Now again, welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef, it is the second largest map in the map pool, second largest only to Neon Violet Square, and we did see Jumy pop off in the late game. If you recall, on Neon Violet Square, if you weren't here for it, I recommend the VODs, but Jumy, he was, in a way, kind of, I say in a way, he did go for a very economic build into a carrier rush. He was kind of forced into it as he did lose a lot of workers to a Link Flood early on in game 1, then into mass carrier, into a maxed out army, into the late game, where he was able to pull Elazer apart and snowball out of control. You could argue that Elazer was overconfident or maybe tunnel visioning too much in that game, and that wouldn't happen again, but that is how he did approach Neon Violet Square. We could see a similar approach here on Abyssal Reef. The reason for this, similar to the previous map, we do have a very secure 5-base setup. Your natural, your third, your fourth, and your fifth base very easily secured here in your corner of the map. Likewise, long rushes is by ground. And the other big difference here, maybe even the biggest difference between Neon Violet Square and Abyssal Reef, is the choke points. Neon Violet Square, if you remember, is very open. It's very open in the center of the map. Here on Abyssal, less so. Here on Abyssal, there's choke points, there's cliff faces, there's all these little alleyways as well. And it means you can be more active with a Protoss army because you can avoid surrounds. You can avoid surrounds, you can force field locations, land some brutal storms. Makes for a very different dynamic when engaging in the center of the map, which allows you to be more active. At least when it comes to these center map attacks. When it comes to breaking one of these defensive positions here back at home, it can be quite difficult. And I guess similarly to Neon Violet Square, it's all about the 6th base. The 6th base is more exposed. So getting a 6th expansion can be more difficult here on Abyssal. But now though, we're settling in. Do you have our initial openers? Adept Stalker out of Jumy. The Stalker opener is interesting. You typically do not open Stalker unless your goal is to deny the Overlord and deny scouting. Lings, they slip in. And there is an Overlord behind the main. Oh, getting a probe. One probe goes down. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener, but the Overlord is almost in position to scout. As the Ling is shut down. And again, as we mentioned, typically when you open Stalker like this, your goal is to shut down the Overlord, and it looks like Elazer, he is aware. Yeah, he sees the Overlord. Does see it, he will zone it away. He will deny the scout. Big moment here for Jumy. Does keep the Overlord contained, or keep it out. Behind this, going into additional gateways. Has a 4-gate setup. Pulls out a gas. This looks like Glaive Adepts. Oh my god. Throwing down another gateway. And another. Jesus. Getting up to 6. Okay. This is much more committed. This is not 4-gate glaives. It's either 6-gate glaives or charge. There we go. Glaives are on the way. But very committed here by Jumy. Much more than usual. So he will have extra adepts. And his goal here now has to be to get damage done. To wreak havoc and to snowball out of control. To pull a Elazer apart. We'll see if he can. Again, standard Glaive Adept builds are only 4. Only 4 gateways to warp in 4 adepts at a time, and usually you expand behind it. With 2 extra gateways, there's going to be no expansion here, not anytime soon. Jumy's going to be warping in, and he's going to warp in a little bit more. He's just going to keep warping in. He's not going to stop. Aye, aye, aye. As here comes the Warp Prism. Link's gonna be turned away. Jumy does move out. Does move out across the map. Is gonna be committing. It's like Jumy is looking in the book of Protoss Wills. Mate, he wrote a couple of chapters in that book, mate. What do you mean? That's the Jumy. Aye, aye, aye. Here we go. Adepts are warping in. Going for DTs. Let's go. It's 6-gate glaives plus DTs. He's doing it all. There is no expansion. The Elazer, he's in position here to deny his scout. Oh, dropping into the main. Going for the drop lord. At the same time, here come the adepts. Back in. What is it to defend? The roaches are on the way. But the base is exposed. The queen is going to go down. Drones force back. Drop lord's coming in. So far, Jumy catching out some of the roaches, going for another big warp in behind this. Yeah, Lings, they just melt. Not enough roaches to fully engage. The roaches are going to be overwhelmed. Meanwhile, across the map, the Stalker does fall, but there is a defensive warp in. There's an adept. There is an adept back at home. So far, Lings, they don't quite get the surround. That's a shading pass. And where are the DTs? Here they come. Here come the Dark Templar. Is there any detection? 0 spores. No spore at the natural. No spore in the main base. There is a lair. There is potential for an Overseer. Overseer's on the way. But the DTs are popping off. As the Overseer is about to finish, Adepts say shade into the main. The DTs are going for the expansion. And drones are falling. 14 worker kills already. 14 drones and the expansion. Can they get the base? Oh, Overseer's coming in. It's going to be close. Yeah, the base falls. Elazer is stuck on 2 bases across the map. Lings, they didn't get much done. And Jumy, now up in economy. He's even on bases, up in workers. Behind this, getting to immortal production. Getting ready for the roaches. He's done enough. Now going for Archon harass. Glaive Adepts into DTs until Archons into an immortal push. As he's just building up the immortal counts. The goal of these Archons are to hunt down Overlords, hunt down Queens. To set up for the push. See how Jumy can pop off. Back at home is expanding. And Elazer is still behind. Elazer is still recovering, still just droning up as hard as he can. Is still droning. Archon's coming in. Adepts as well. And again, this is what Jumy's looking for. Any stray Overlords. Any Overlords out on the map will go down. Elazer has to pull back. Building on more roaches. Elazer going into Roach Hydra. Hydra Den has been placed. Jumy threatening the mineral line. Headed towards the main base. There is a queen in position. Roaches as well. So far so good. Elazer, he hasn't lost too much, only one Overlord. To the Archons, I mean. He lost more before that. I mean, he's still down in drones. Still down in workers. As Jumy, he finds another Overlord. Behind this, saturating his third base. Building up more Immortals. He's got 3 already, getting up to 4. It's another Overlord going down. With this, Elazer trying to scout, dives into the main. We do have a Charge Lodge +1 Immortal follow-up. I would imagine Jumy moves out with 5 Immortals, but it's just going to be a terrifying army. And Elazer, he's rushing into Lurkers. I mean, that would be a way to hold. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Queen goes down. But even if Elazer gets into like 5 Lurkers, Immortals, they can break through that. Oh, the contamination. Let's go. The contamination. Contaminates the Robo. Delays the Observer. And here comes Jumy. Here he comes. He's got 4 Immortals. He's got Mass Sentry. There's going to be the Observer to help support for detection. And the Lurker Den is still not done. And it would be the only way for Elazer to hold on. Elazer at the same time going for a massive counterattack. Zelts are out of position. Probe's going to be going down. Jumy, he pulls away. We'll be losing probes. Yeah, Zell gets surrounded. Workers have to pull out. And Jumy, he's going for the all-in. I mean, he was all-in to begin with. Let's go. Third base is going to fall. Jumy, he commits. 6 Lurkers in production. But there is detection. And the Observer is here, so is the Overseer. 1 Archon goes down. 2nd Archon as well. And can Jumy get on top of those Lurkers? He's stutter stepping forward. Observer does survive. 1 Lurker goes down. There's 5 left. Points are being pulled. And the Immortals, they are immortal. They just shut down the army. The Roaches, the Hydras, the Lurkers as well. Yeah, Jumy, he's done it. He breaks through the main force. And there's just nothing here. There's nothing left to defend. The Lurkers, they do nothing. The Lurkers get shut down. The Observer falls to the Spore after the Lurkers. And Jumy's done at the same time. Oh, Elazer, he does get into the natural. Depowers the Robo. Jumy, meanwhile, pushing in. We're going for the base trade. Jumy losing control of the natural base. Oh, he locks out the army, though. Hydras, they get force fielded in, and GG gets called. Jumy snowballs out of control, and Jumy ties up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 5. Again, a crazy aggressive build out of Jumy, going 6 Gate Glaive Adepts into DTs alongside them. Again, Elazer, he was caught off guard. He was somewhat keeping up with the Adepts, but they got, again, 14 worker kills. And the DTs, they were able to clean up the expansion and shut down the third base. From there, Elazer fell behind. Elazer's, his way to bounce back in that game was to rush into Lurkers. And he was able to get there, but as we saw, 6 Lurkers, they weren't enough. They were not enough here to hold on. They were completely shut down. Lurkers, they need support. They're, especially that early on, they're more of a supportive unit. Like, they need some kind of buffer ahead of them to help keep them alive, to help maintain them. But alas, the army just melted. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 5. We're going to the ace match. Here we go. It might be lower level than Star versus here, but it's more interesting, more creative builds. You say that, like, what? Elazer's like, what, top 3 Zerg in Europe? Like, what are you talking about? Like, when you think of the European Zergs, you think several Raynor, and then it's a, like, it's a shakeup between Lambo and Elazer, as they're, like, 3rd and 4th, respectively. Depending on the day, you could argue one over the other, but, yeah. Best in Europe, let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of King's Cove, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone, forcing the ace match, bringing us here to game 5. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player, the orange Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer. Here we go. So we are settling in. And again, this is, I guess, maybe why we appreciate players like Hero, for example. Like Hero, he has adapted the hell out of Serral before, for example. Like Hero, maybe he's not as maybe he is as chaotic as Jumy in a sense. Hero, he does play standard more often though, but he is willing to mix it up and shake it up and do some crazy stuff as well from time to time. But now though, we're selling in. Also un momento. Okay, we're back. We're all good. Sorry, I smelled burning, so I was a little bit concerned. I was like, what's going on? We're all good, we're all good. As we are going to be able to settle in. So far, we do have our gate expanded to Cybercore. Standard opener so far out of Jumy. No crazy forge into cannon rush. Remember that? Remember the attempted cannon rush in this series? That was crazy. Aye. As Elazer, likewise, standard opener as well. Welcome one and all to King's Cove. Now, King's Cove is an interesting map as well. It's also a large map, third largest map of the map pool, just behind Abyssal, just behind Neon Violet Square. A very secure 3-base setup, as there is a ramp coming into the natural, ramp coming to the third base as well, so very secure on 3 bases. But when it comes to the other larger maps, the more exposed base is the 6th base, right? The 6th base is more exposed. Here, it's the 4th. The 4th base is very much so out in the open, as you can see here, is very out in the open towards the center, likewise towards the left-hand side as well. So it can be quite difficult maintaining a 4th base. A lot of the fights, a lot of the engagements do center around whether or not you can hold on to the 4th, and it goes both ways. That's typically how this goes, but Jumy is not the most standard of players, and even here, interesting, you typically do not hide the Stargate behind the mineral line. So this could just be for mind games, or this could be like a Void Ray opener. As typically you'd have the Stargate closer to the edge of the main to get your Oracle across the map that much faster. So interesting setup here by Jumy. Is still opening up Oracle. But he's banking the Oracle, so this makes sense. Players like Creator do this every now and then. Creator comes to mind more prominently, but the goal here is to make it look like it is a Twilight Council opener by keeping the Oracle back at home, waiting for the second Oracle, and then moving out. And the goal is that you hope that your opponent skips out and delays their spores, and then you can get some economic damage. So again, that is the reason why the Stargate is behind the mineral line. Meanwhile, the Overlord Scout is almost going to be denied. Lings, they dive in. And with that, the Lings, they do at least save the Overlord. They shut down the Stalker. Massive pickup. And the Overlords, they survive. But does Elazer, does he get into the main? Does he get in? As we do have both Overlords slipping past. And Jumy takes the third. Jumy just now going to be moving out, I believe. Oh, just waiting for that second Oracle. Here we go. Second Oracle has arrived. And now Jumy, he pushes. And Elazer, by the time he realizes what's going on, is it going to be too late? Spores are just now on the way. And Jumy, he does send it across the map. Behind this, going for the Forge into Twilight Council. Overlord will confirm the Stargate. And the Queens should be getting in position. As they catch the transfer workers, not bad. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 4. Gee, oh my god. As an episode wreaking havoc, 8 drones going down. Ay. And this is what Jumy was hoping for. Again, the spores are not done. They're not ready. Elazer, he thought it was a Twilight Council. He didn't know it was Stargate. And with that, 11 drone kills and a Queen. Oh, can he get it? He wants it. Oh my god. Does get the Queen. Jumy backs up. At the same time, Lings, they counterattack here at the third base. Can they force a cancel? They at least catch 2 Zealots. But there is a defensive warp in. Pylon is under fire. Pylon will go down. But Jumy defends. Jumy does defend. And again, all that damage is because he was hiding the Stargate, banking up those Oracles, caught Elazer with his pants down. And now Jumy follows this up, not with +1 and Blink, but with +1 and Charge instead. A much more aggressive build. This is going to be hitting here with a +1 timing with Charge Lots and Archons. So Jumy is being more aggressive, more assertive. Again, Jumy does not often play standard. And it's on Elazer here to figure out what's going on and confirm how much danger he's in. Now, this is a tell. What I'm referring to what are we seeing here? We're seeing Zealot Warpins and Zealot Reinforcements. So this tells Elazer that it is going to be charged, that it is not going to be Blink. And the Elazer, he needs Roaches. Or Banelings. Or both. Both would be ideal. Back at home, we do have the Roach one at least. Elazer just joining up, saturating his bases, getting up to 3-base saturation, going for the Hydra Den as well. But again, thankfully, he did not skip the Roach Warren. And he will need them to defend, to survive. Jumy setting up for a 4th. A little bit out of place. There we go. Pylon gets thrown down. Australia, hey papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Buenos días, good morning. As Zealot move that across the map, +1 is about to finish up in 10 seconds. But there are Lings to defend. Again, Lings that don't trade amazingly against Chargelets, unfortunately. So this is why we did mention that Roaches would be required, or Banelings. Alas, Elazer is going Ling Hydra, skipping Roaches. Bold move. Bold move by Elazer. Lings, they try to bust into the natural. More Chargelets on the way. As Jumy is building up. Oh! Nice stasis. Stasis goes off on the Lings. And these Hydras are vulnerable. They are going to be vulnerable here as Elazer is moving out. Jumy banking up more Zealots. Getting to High Templar, into Storm. And as Elazer pushes, we have a Zealot run by on the right, and we have a Zealot drop on the left. Uh-oh. And Elazer, he turns around. Yeah, he does turn everything back around. He was setting up for a push. But as Zealots, they hit the natural, they get a Queen. Likewise, getting to the mineral line, drones are falling. And this is giving Jumy so much time. The army should have been here by now. But Elazer is forced back. There's a recall back home. War Prism still alive here between the bases. And now Elazer pushes, but again, this is delayed. At the same time, Contamination! Contamination pops up. Actually, really important. Storm is crucial here for defense. Storm is going to be crucial, and now Jumy doesn't have it. Yeah, big moment here for Elazer. Denies Storm. Denies the stasis. Is pushing in. There's going to be Archons to defend. And he still needs Storm. As Elazer is gaining ground, started stepping forward, pushing into the mineral line. Probes are going down. At the same time, Zealot run by. And here comes the Storm. Storm is done. There's the first, there's the second Storm. Not bad. But it might not be enough. Oh, a third Storm even. Third Storm pops up. Do we have a fourth? We do. Fourth Storm connects. There's one Archon left. Elazer focuses on the Immortal. The Archon barely survives. Takes down the Lings. And takes down the Hydras. Oh my god. And throughout all of this, the Zealots are popping up across the map. Jumy warping in across the map instead. Warping in aggressively. Catching out the Queens, catching out reinforcements. The Prism barely survives. And drones are going down left and right. Everything's on fire. As drones going down at the third in the main base, and the third is at the natural as well. And GG gets called. Elazer gets broken, and Jumy will take the series 3-2, qualifying for the OSC Season 12 Championship. GG. Este Jumy. GG, well played. Jumy just pulling Elazer apart, buying so much time, barely buying enough time for Storm as well. He barely held on across back at home, and then across the map, the Warpins did not stop, getting into every mineral line, killing drones, catching reinforcements. Elazer had nothing left, down to what, 50 supply towards the end. GG. GG, well played. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the Mooning Pig. Oh my god, calm down. But thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for the first time. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Jumy qualifies. Let's go. As you can imagine, these matches did occur a couple of days ago, and after they occurred, Jumy was kind enough to share these replays. We were able to cover his series against Dolan, cover his series against Elazer. Very close matches. Again, he went to the ace match against Dolan. There's a world where Dolan takes that series. Likewise here against Elazer as well. Very chaotic, very unorthodox. Elazer having a hard time keeping up with the aggression of with the aggression of Jumy. And Jumy barely takes the win. GG. He's an animal. Absolute animal. GG, well played. Amazing series. Yeah. I think we're just catching up. Just catching up. Soul Train follow-up. True. Mass stasis trap. Oh no. We haven't seen that in a while. Not wrong. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed yourselves with that. Jumy qualifies and Jumy makes it through, and we're going to be seeing more of Jumy in the OSC Season 12 Championship. May as well take this moment to have a look at the bracket and to have a look at what is to come this week in the championship. Un momento. Just setting things up. It's quite a large bracket. It's quite daunting to look at as well. Okay, from the top. We do have a lot of Protoss. Jesus, someone was saying that earlier. But let us switch our scenes over and have a look at the brackets. Okay. We'll switch our scene over. Bam, beautiful. We have our bracket. Okay, from the top. So this, welcome one and all to the season championship. Jumy just qualified. He did just qualify for the event, so congratulations to Jumy. As a result, Elazer did not. Elazer is denied the event, and these are the players that are seeded because of their performances throughout the year. For those that are curious, for those that weren't here earlier, the OSC Esports, they are an organization that partner with other tournaments. They run their own tournaments as well, and throughout the course of a year, players, they accumulate points. So many online events provide OSC points, and with that, players, they are seeded into the event at the end of the year based on their performances, based on their placements, of course. Because these are the seeded players. We have 19 Protoss, 7 Terran, and 6 Zerg. Welcome to online StarCraft. This is like the IM Katowice or the World Championship of online tournaments in SC2. And again, Protoss players, they very much so, they dominate online events. So we got 19 Protoss players, 7 Terrans, and 6 Zerg. We have players like Max, and Shin. They were the finalists. They were the finalists of the mid-season playoffs, so they do get seeded in. And then based on the championship bracket, or based on their performances throughout the year, we have Classic, we have Creator, Geralt, Hero, Christiana, Middle-VK, Nightmare, Rebellion, Shameless, and Skilless from the side of Protoss. And we have Björn, Clem, Cure, Honmono, Nickrak from Terran, Dark, Wayne, and Young Yakov for Zerg. So these are the players that have been seeded in based on their performances. Meanwhile, we have the qualified players. Through the qualifiers, we have Arrowfire, Art, DNS, Jumy. We just saw him qualify. There's Jumy, Lemon, Lunacy, Mana, and Night Phoenix, alongside Babe Marine, Spirit, Mixu, and Solar. These are the players making it through those qualifiers. And all together, we have the championship bracket. Here we go. And here it is. Now, as you can imagine, every match is going to be casted, and it's going to take the month. It's going to take all of January, maybe coming into February, but at least all of January to cover all of this, because, mate, you thought you saw it all. Double limb. It's a double elimination bracket, so from the very top, and again, based on their performances, certain players are seeded, so you can see here, Hero, he's seeded 2 rounds in. Max, Geralt, Shin, like they have been seeded further into the bracket, so look forward to seeing them later on. But for the time being, we have Young Yakov versus Skilless. Gonna be a fun ZvP. Young Yakov has been improving a lot over the past 6 months. Skilless likewise has been leveling up recently as well over the past couple of months, has been getting better and better results. We've seen Skilless take down Solo, we've seen take down Shin, take down Dark. Skilless has been popping off in this matchup as well. Do look forward to it. Winner goes up against Nickrak, winner goes up against Hero in the next round. Oh. Scrolling down, we have some PvPs. We have Nightmare versus Rebellion facing off. Nightmare is going to be favored. Best of luck to Rebellion in that series. We have Cure and Creator. That is a brutal first round map. Jesus. Cure and Creator facing off in the first round. Aye. We have Christiana versus Middle-VK, and we have Wayne versus Classic. Another match I'm going to be looking forward to, so do look forward to that. Likewise, Cure versus Creator is going to be a banger of a TVP. So do wish them all the best. And again, we have MaxFax, Geralt, and Shin lying in wait. And likewise, at the bottom, we have Homeowner versus Shameless into Clem. Homeowner versus Shameless, that looks like a lot of fun as well. That looks like a chaotic TVP into Clem, into Shin. Meanwhile, we have players seated into the lower portion of the bracket. These are the players that made it through the qualifiers. It is brutal, but you know, that's why you got to play in these online tournaments throughout the year. All these players in the upper half of the bracket were seeded in because of their performances. The players seated in the lower half of the bracket are from the qualifiers. So it is much more difficult for them to make deeper runs, but of course it means that these upper players have a life. They have a life to work with because they have a lower bracket to catch them when they fall. And we have Solar versus Lemon, Mana versus Lunacy, Night Phoenix versus DNS, Art versus Spirit, Baby Marine versus Mixu, Jumy versus Arrow Fire at the bottom as well. So here we go. We have our final brackets here. We have our final players. If there are some players that you see are missing, then it is because they do not compete in online tournaments. Like, we have some of the best players in the world, like MaxFax, Hero, and Clem, for example, but we don't have players like Cyril and Raynor. Cyril and Raynor do not play in online tournaments. They rarely compete. They only play in big premier events. But there are other top players like, again, Hero, Clem, and MaxFax. They're just grinders. They play in everything. Shin as well. Like, they play in all these online tournaments, regardless of their size. They're there for it. They are there for it. Another player that doesn't compete in online events, alongside Cyril and Raynor, players like Showtime, players like Big Gabe, Hero Marine, Lambo, who else? Maru. Again, they're just certain players that they're not as active. They do other things. Whether it's they make their own content, like on their own like YouTube channel, their own streams, or other things as well. So if you want to see them in these events for next time, get them to play in online tournaments. Aye, aye, aye. So yeah, it is a stacked bracket. It is stacked. It's big. Just catching up. So yeah, this bracket is going to be starting this week, by the way. Not today, not going to be starting today. We just wrapped up the qualifier, but this week is going to be the beginning of the OSC bracket. We will be casting some of these matches. I don't know which ones yet. We're going to be provided, because there's so many matches happening at once, the organizer is going to be collecting replays early on, and we'll be casting these matches via replays, I believe, at the end of the week. I think like Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday is when we're going to be casting. And typically, because there are so many matches and because OSC is run and there are so many partners for OSC and so many casters, usually the matches are spread out between casters. So ourselves here on the CranKy Ducklings, Steadfast, for example, Dave Testa, for example, Chicken Man, Wardy, usually we do kind of split up and we do cover our own matches. And typically the finals is covered by Wardy. Like Wardy, he usually has dibs on like the final rounds and on the grand finals. Back here, oh right, my apologies, I didn't quite scroll far enough. We have Beyond and Dark at the end here as well, as they've been seeded towards the very end of the bracket, as they are the top seeds of the year. Again, Dark and Beyond also grinders. They also grind a lot of online tournaments. So I look forward to it. Do look forward to it. But again, so usually these final rounds are covered by Wardy. We are usually covering the earlier rounds instead. And again, it's going to be starting this week. It is going to be starting this week, so look forward to it. Consider following us. Consider following us here on Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Twitter. We do post whenever we go live. Hold on, I got you covered. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. And you can follow us, so you'll be notified when we are going to be covering this event or any other events. This is our first broadcast of the day. Later on tonight, we're going to be live with Wardy TV Monday. Wardy TV Monday is going to be in 10 hours? 9.5 hours time. We're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday, so a lot of StarCraft tonight. A lot of StarCraft to come. Yeah. A lot of StarCraft to embrace. And tomorrow we have the Pigos Road Monday and Little League Cup. Meanwhile, we're going to be going on a break. We are not done yet today, but again, a bit of a shorter broadcast. We wrapped up all the qualifiers. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes with a viewer replay cast. For those that are curious, if you're in the chat and if you're accumulating channel points, you can spend some of your channel points, if you wish, on having us cast your replays. So viewer replays are available. We did have a couple of these points redeemed throughout the past couple of days, so we're going to be just jumping in, having a more chill, having a more laid-back cast of viewer replays, and yeah, just something a little bit less serious here while we wrap up the stream. So we have a couple of replay casts from viewers, and then we'll be wrapping up, and we'll be back later on tonight in 9 hours time with the Wardy TV Monday. So with that, we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Otherwise, hope you had a great time here in this tournament or during this cast, during this event, and we'll see you next time, either after the break or, you know, for the next big events like Wardy TV Monday or Pegasaur Monday or Lee or Master Coliseum, whatever it happens to be. For now, going to be going in that short break. Take this time to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, tuck in your tempest, cuddle your carriers, and we'll be back soon with some more StarCraft. See you then. See you then.